Son or stranger? A father's toughest decision, asterisk, asterisk. It was just another rainy evening outside the Greyhound station, the kind where the shadows seem to stretch a little longer and secrets cling to the mist. A man sat alone on a damp bench near the back wall, wearing a tattered coat and weathered boots. Most people barely looked at him, and those who did saw only what they expected: a homeless man, forgotten, passed by, invisible. But what no one knew was that the man once owned a multi-million-dollar tech firm, walked boardrooms in tailored suits, and lived in a penthouse overlooking the skyline. That was before the betrayal, before his world was shattered by a single, devastating truth. He went by Rick now, though it wasn't his real name. He had learned that blending in was safer. Every night, he returned to the shelter 2 blocks down, where he slept among people who never asked questions and carried stories darker than the streets themselves. One evening, a group of teens outside a coffee shop noticed him watching the news through the cafe window. They laughed. One of them tossed an empty cup toward him and said, "Hey, Grandpa, stock market's closed. Ain't nothing in there for you." The others howled. Rick didn't flinch. He'd learned not to react. But inside, something stirred. The headline on the screen hadn't escaped him. A name. A name he hadn't heard in over 8 years. Missing tech air resurfaces. Questions surround identity. That name, his son's name. But the boy on the screen didn't look like the child he remembered.
He was grown now.
Clean-cut, dressed in designer suits, smiling with confidence, surrounded by lawyers and cameras. They said he'd been missing for nearly a decade, presumed dead. But here he was, claiming his place in the corporate empire his late father had built. Only Rick wasn't dead. And that young man on the screen? He wasn't his son. The real story was buried under years of silence and shame. After Rick's wife passed, his once loving relationship with his only son had frayed. Grief twisted everything. Business took priority. Words were said, cruel, irreversible things. Then came the fire. His company's data servers were sabotaged. Investigators found evidence pointing to an insider. Days later, his son disappeared. Rick lost everything. The board ousted him. His reputation was ruined. And when he tried to find his son, there was nothing. No digital footprint, no financial trail. Just a single message, left on a voicemail. "You chose power over blood. Don't look for me." Years passed. Rick fell into obscurity, his fortune depleted through court battles, private investigators, and a final act of desperate philanthropy, transferring what little he had left into a trust, meant only for his son. If he ever returned under one condition, he had to prove who he was. Now, suddenly, this stranger shows up.
Smooth talking.
Armed with documents. Claiming to be the long-lost heir. Rick felt the earth shift beneath him. Over the following weeks, he watched from a distance. The media ate it up. The miraculous return of a prodigal son. But something was off. The boy had the voice, the mannerisms. He even answered obscure security questions from Rick's old associates. But Rick knew what the world didn't. His real son had a crescent-shaped scar on his ribcage. A childhood bike accident. The kind of detail no one would guess unless they were there. So, Rick did something he hadn't done in years. He reached out. An anonymous note sent through a private courier. A meeting arranged in a quiet, rundown diner. Just the two of them. The young man arrived. Confident, curious. "I got your note," he said. "What's this about?" Rick sat across from him, heart pounding. "You claim to be someone I once knew," he said quietly. "But I don't recognize you. Not yet." The young man narrowed his eyes. "You think I'm lying?"
Rick leaned in.
"Where's the scar?" There was silence. A beat too long. Then a smile, practiced and thin. "That was a long time ago," the young man said. "I don't remember everything." Rick stared. The truth was clear now. But here's the twist: he didn't expose him.
Not then.
Not yet. Because in that moment, Rick realized something deeper. If this imposter was able to fool the world, he had help. A network. A purpose. Which meant someone else had orchestrated it. The question wasn't just asterisk, who is this man? Asterisk it was. Asterisk why now? Asterisk. And more chillingly. Asterisk, where is my real son? Asterisk. Rick returned to the shadows. Quietly.
Strategically.
He began retracing steps, calling in favors from the few friends who still owed him, searching every thread that might lead to the truth. The deeper he dug, the more tangled it became. Bank transfers traced to shell companies, forged hospital records, fake obituaries. One night, he found a single, encrypted message embedded in a dormant cloud drive he hadn't touched in 10 years.
It was an audio clip.
A voice.
Weak.
But unmistakable. Dad, if you find this, it means they've taken everything. Don't trust the man pretending to be me. He's not who you think. He's not just after the company, he's after you. Rick sat frozen. The story wasn't over. It was just beginning. Now, every move Rick makes is a calculated risk. He can't go to the police. There are too many layers of corruption. He can't trust the media. They've already chosen the headline. And the world still believes he's dead. So, the question remains, should he come forward and risk everything to reveal the truth, or stay hidden, unraveling the conspiracy from the shadows? Son or stranger? The choice is no longer just about blood. It's about justice. And time is running out. In a world obsessed with identity, power, and perception, one man must confront the cost of silence and the danger of believing what you want to see. Will the truth surface, or will a lie become the legacy? Let us know in the comments. What would you do if someone stole your child's face and your life's work? Would you stay hidden or fight back from the shadows? Asterisk, asterisk. Subscribe for more real-life, inspired stories of mystery, betrayal, and redemption.